So guys, for this dress I'm going to be making use of this beautiful African print hair. What I have here is 2 yards, so I'm going to be making a short version. And I have this black fabric here. You can use any fabric of your choice for this, but the black fabric I have here is called chinox. So these are the two fabrics we're going to be using to make this dress. Let me just go ahead and fold my fabric into 4. So this is 2 yards, right? I'm going to first of all fold it into 2 equal halves, and the next thing I will do, this is already folded into 2 as you can see. So I will just turn it over to the wrong side because I want to I want to draw on the fabric itself, so I need to turn it over to the wrong part of the fabric. First I'm folding it into 2, and then I'll fold it again to make it a 4 fold. So guys, I'm folding it again now for it to be a fold into 4 as you can see. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is to iron out this whole piece so that when I'm drafting out on it, it's actually very easy for me. So guys, you can see here what I have here is 4, so this means we're cutting the front and the back together. So the center front is going to be the part that doesn't have any opening, which is the part that is actually closest to me right now. So the part that doesn't have any opening should be the center of both the front and the back. So first thing I've done now is to draw a straight line across the top to serve as my shoulder line, and I'm coming in by 3 inches for my neck width, and I came down by 1.5 inch for my neck depth. Now I will just use the same neckline for both the front and the back for now, and I'll be drafting out the front neckline later, but now we'll just use the back neckline for both front and back. Now from the center of my fabric here on the shoulder line, I'm going to go in by half of my shoulder measurement, and from this shoulder measurement that I got, I'm just going to determine how long I want the sleeve to be. But since I don't have enough fabric to work with here, I'm just going to take it all the way to the end of where this fabric ends. So this is just like adding your sleeve, but it's just that this sleeve is actually going to be part of the dress.
I did no vex for me. Say I never call you since, but I hope that you are well.
Now from the shoulder here, I'm going to come down by 9 inches for my armhole depth. If the person you're making it for is very big, you can use 10 inches or 11 inches depending on their size. Now I've placed my tape on the shoulder line and I'm coming down to the 22 inches line here. This is my hip line, so I just marked my hip line here. I'm going to mark quarter of my hip measurements. That's my hip measurements divided by 4. Now from this point, I'm going to add some extra inches. Depends on how wide you want your bubu to be. So for me, I will just add 4.5 inches. If you're bigger in size, you can add 5 inches or 6 inches. Now from this armhole, I'm just going to connect to this hip line here with my free hand. And now from the shoulder again, I'll go ahead and measure all the way to how long I want this dress to be. Now because I don't have enough fabric to work with, I'm making a short version. If you want to make a long version, you will need to have more fabric. So I will just mark where I want my dress to be right here, and I'm going to use my ruler to just draw a straight line across. So guys, I also connect the line coming down from the armhole like this. I'll just connect these to get all the way to the end of the dress. And yeah, this is basically it. So I'll go ahead and cut along the lines that I have here. So guys, one thing I like to have in my bubus is a little shoulder slope. This is something I was already forgetting. So I just came down by 1 inch and just sloped it into the neckline here. And I'm just going to continue to like cut this out. This particular shoulder slope thing is totally optional, so you don't necessarily have to do it. So guys, these are the front and the back pieces cut together, as you can see. So I'll just pick one of them to use as the front, because the neckline for the front needs to be a little bit different from what the back is. The back is a high neckline, so I have to change this neckline to fit what I want the front to look like. So now from the shoulder here, I'm going to come down by 10 inches. I'll just mark it here in the middle for the neck depth for the front, and then I'll just go in here by 1 inch. Okay, so from this point here, I am just going to use my ruler to connect something looking like a V neckline all the way to where my neck width already is on the round neckline from the back, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. So guys, let me open up the neckline for you guys to see. So this is what the front neckline is looking like right now. So it has a kind of V, but it's a different type of V neckline. So now we are going to join the front and the back together on the shoulder. This is the back piece with the round neckline that we drafted earlier. So I'm just placing my fabrics together, right sides facing each other. It's actually hard to determine the front and back of this particular fabric I'm working with because it's pure cotton. But anyways, I know what I'm doing here. So I'm just placing them right sides facing each other, and on the shoulder I'm just pinning the front and the back together like you see me doing like this. So once I'm through with this, I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and just make a stitch here and here. I am done making my stitch, and I've also gone ahead to iron out my piece. So it's actually hard to spot the neckline here because of the nature of this particular fabric, but you can see what the neckline is looking like right now after I was done joining the shoulders. So now one thing I want to go ahead and do is to place the collar on the neckline, and to do that, from this edge of the front neckline, not from this center here, just from this edge here, I'm going to go ahead and measure all the way around until I get to the other end of the neckline. So I'll just mark it until I get to this other edge here, and what I had was about 29.5 inches. Now this is what I've cut out for my collar. It is about 4 inches wide, so what you need is about 4 inches wide. If you want yours to be wider, you can add a little bit more, but what I have here is 4 inches. And on this side I have something that is more than 29 inches, because what I need for this particular neck is 29 inches. That was what I measured just now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is to place this piece here. You see I already ironed it folded, so I'm going to place it on this part of the neckline here, just like you see me doing it like this. I don't know what to call this, but I'll just call it the end. And I'm just going to go ahead and pin this all the way around the neckline until I get to the other end as well. So when I get there, if there's any excess on the neckline from the collar, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off. So guys, I am done pinning it around the neckline, so I'll just go over and stitch this down. I'm done making my stitch now, and I've also gone ahead to iron this piece out to the right side, as you can see. So you see it has like a kind of covering here. I also went ahead to cut out this piece. Now the dimension for this particular piece is 10 inches here, 10 inches here, 10 inches here, and 10 inches here. So basically this is a square piece with 10 inches. You can actually decide to make it bigger, maybe using 11 or 12 inches if you want it to be bigger. That is like totally up to you and what size you are looking to have. Now one thing I want to do is to have like a design on the side. You can decide to have it plain like this, or you can decide to like cut off some part, which is what I'm doing here. I'm just taking in about 3 inches from this edge and I'm just going to cut it out, so you can see what I did here. Now I'm going to be placing this on the neckline, so you can decide to place it in the middle like this. Now this is another place where you can play with it. You can place it like this, or you can push it towards the side. You can have it in the middle. You can turn it upside down. Whichever way you want to do it is totally up to you guys. So now one thing I want you to do to make it easier for me to stitch this on the sewing machine is I want to fold all the edges with about 1/2 inch and iron it out. So just to make sure the edges are secured, I am using hemming gum in between to just make sure that it doesn't move. If you do not have any hemming gum, just go ahead and iron out your piece just like you see me doing like this, just to make sure that when you're stitching it on the sewing machine, it's really easy for you. So I've ironed all the edges of my little piece because I really didn't want mine to be so wide. Okay, so I'm just going to place this in the middle here. I just folded this piece into two so that I'll get the middle and place it exactly in the middle. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin this down so that it's like stays where I want it to be, because if you don't pin it down, it can easily move and bend. So I'll just go ahead and stitch around. So guys, it's stitched down now. As you can see, it's looking nice and pretty. And I also went ahead to stitch this sleeve area. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn everything over to the wrong side so that we'll go ahead and join the sides. So from here, I'm going to join the side here with about 1/2 inch or 1 inch, and I'll do the same thing for the other side and then hem the ends. So guys, after I was done, this is what it looks like. This is the final look of my dress. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.